Fala, meu povo! Mais um corte com aquele padrão do Boteco Rock. Mas antes de mais nada, eu vou pedir de coração para que deixe o like e se inscreva no canal. Porque a cada novo like, a cada nova inscrição, eu vou renovar aqui no Boteco Rock a minha energia para trazer sempre esse conteúdo de qualidade para vocês, amantes da boa música. Deixe o like, se inscreva no canal e fortaleça o Boteco Rock.
I met John McLaughlin in England.
In England.
I was working with Horace Silver in 1968. And that's the first encounter I had with him. Who was he working with? He had a band with another drummer named Tony Oxley, who's passed away. Great jazz player who used to play with Bill Evans, a great Bill Evans pianist. Anyway, then after that, McLaughlin moved to the United States and started working with Tony Williams. I didn't meet him while I was working with Miles. Although he was in the studio, there were too many things going on and too many people. And if you can imagine going into a recording studio to make a recording and you see people whom you heard perform on record, who you love to hear their music, just piano alone, was Keith Jarrett, Joe Zavini, Chick Corea, Larry Young on organ, and then out of nowhere the door opens and there's Herbie Hancock. 5 piano players in the same room playing on the same recording.
Yeah.
And those were the Vicious Brew sessions. You never knew people were just there. Just keyboards. Then you had McLaughlin, who played, thank God there was only one guitar player. Because later on there was George Benson or there was Larry Coryell. Miles had a lot of different people. 2 bass players, Harvey Brooks, electric bass, Ron Carter, upright bass. Maybe me and Tony drums, or me and Jack drums, or me and Lenny White drums.
Yeah.
It just went like this. And he just pointed to people, and you would play. Because he wanted you to contribute what you heard, what you experienced from everybody else. So all kinds of people would be there. Benny Maupin, bass clarinet or tenor saxophone. I was not in the studio at all with Wayne Shorter. I never had the honor. But there was Benny, there was Steve Grossman, tenor sax. Who else? I know Alirio Lima, from percussionist from Brazil. Badal Roy Chowdhury, Indian tabla player. Ayrton Moreira was there. All these people all at the same time in this room. That was not that big, man. So we smelled terrible, and it was like good to open the door. But anyway,
I think Birds of Fire from Mahavishnu is one of the important albums of music, not jazz or rock music. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah. A melting pot of styles with fantastic musicians. Could you talk a little specifically on the disc about Birds of Fire?
It came out of Inner Mounting Flame. Inner Mounting Flame was the first record we made.
Yeah.
It was, all of this music was, what's the word? No one knew. I shouldn't say no one. I didn't know. Nor was I really interested in what the music meant to anybody else. I liked it, so I was playing it. And it felt very comfortable to me. It had certain qualities and virtues that I felt I needed to develop to become more comfortable with. One quality was playing rhythms that were 5/4, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, or odd, where every meter, every bar was different. So the overall, it was like sub phrases, and then it made one big phrase. And I really did not feel as comfortable before I started working in that environment doing that. I had some experiences with Herbie Hancock that in his band, subbing for Tootie Heath, I think, and I thought I made a big mess of the music because I just couldn't feel comfortable because I didn't have the security in here that I could do it And so I was playing tentative, and I wanted to practice more. And so when John approached me about working with him on some new music, it wasn't with the intent of joining a band. It was just he had some ideas, and he needed a drummer or somebody to help him realize these ideas. So he took a rehearsal room. You know, at that time you could rehearse in a place maybe for $10 a day or so, and you just practice, and that was it. Because in New York City there were many industrial buildings there was nothing in them, and they were just kind of losing money for the owner. So whatever price he could get for rental for the day, or you know what it would be, $50, sure. And so we would go and play for hours. Sometimes, well, in the beginning of the orchestra project, I think John and I rehearsed, it was good to say, for about 2 weeks alone, every day, right through, 14 days straight. Just, I have something else I want to try. Okay, and I would just go. I was young, unattached, could just, I could walk to rehearsals sometimes and just play. And in this way, it developed something in me, and I became more and more comfortable with playing these patterns. Next thing you know, what do you think if we can add a bass player? Who? He had ideas. Rick Laird eventually came. Jerry Goodman eventually came. Before Rick Laird came, Jerry Goodman came. And we made a recording with Charlie Hayden, very famous bassist who's passed away now, used to work with Ornette Coleman, called My Goals Beyond. And that was the John McLaughlin album that was on Douglas Records. And that's how I first recorded with John. And from there, things started to open up, and we became this band. I didn't even know that John was associated with a guru or anything. It was just all about the music for me. I didn't care, it's his business. But I understood where he was getting his inspiration from. And it made a lot of sense. I mean, musically it was like, wow, man, yeah. It's in a different way, the Indian music approach, but really focusing on something like that more. Okay. You know, it's good for him. You know, it's great to add a Panamanian Latin approach to it was even more interesting for me.
And by the way, thank you so much for signing my Mahavishnu discos,
no
man. I love Mahavishnu, really. And,
Calma. Eu sei que o vídeo acabou, mas eu venho aqui humildemente pedir novamente para deixar o like no vídeo e se inscrever no canal, porque isso é muito, mas é muito importante para que o Boteco Rock siga trazendo sempre conteúdo de qualidade. Conto com vocês, hein? Saudações!